Joe Rogan is one of the most controversial and divisive names out there right now. The former Fear Factor host made his name on the show, and due to his work in the UFC, as a comedian he toured quite a lot and was known for his takes that divided people right down the middle. Unfortunately, his controversial takes often flirted with misinformation, although it had started out as him sitting in front of laptops bullshitting with his friend Redban. It ended up getting picked up by SiriusXM, and he reached a ton of people, and by the time of the Trump presidency, when conspiracy theories were more popular than ever, Joe Rogan had found an odd niche in his Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Joe Rogan signed a deal with Spotify on May 19th, 2020 worth around $100 million. It was one of the largest deals ever in the podcasting business. His show became available on Spotify from September 2020 and became exclusive to the platform on January of 2021. The controversy started soon after the exclusive deal came into effect. Legendary Canadian rock star Neil Young wrote an open letter asking that his music be removed from Spotify as Joe Rogan's podcast was streaming from there. He said they didn't want his music to share on a platform with Rogan, due to the fact that he spread disinformation about COVID-19. Rogan's takes about COVID have certainly been controversial, and in some instances downright incorrect. Given his rabid following, Young felt that it was dangerous for this to continue unopposed and removed his music in protest. "I am doing this because Spotify is spreading fake info about vaccines, potentially causing death to those who believe the disinformation being spread by them. Please act on this immediately today and keep me informed of the time schedule. I want you to let Spotify know immediately today that I want all of my music off their platform. They can have Rogan or Young, not both." This received enormous backlash from Rogan's fans, who even sent threats. However, it gained a lot of positive traction as well, with many coming to the support of the popular singer. Soon, others were joining in the effort. Musicians such as Joni Mitchell, Nils Lofgren, India Arie, Brenda Brown, David Crosby, Stephen Stills, Graham Nash, and Roxanne Gay all spoke out against it and were withdrawing their music, among others. In response, while it looked like Spotify was not going to do anything, the company has taken down 113 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience. This came amidst another development where episodes where Rogan used racial slurs surfaced. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is one of the most popular and beloved figures internationally. He is known for being an inspiring figure as well, helping fans in need. Unfortunately, the former wrestler found himself in hot water recently. In a video, Rogan said he would try to get people on his podcast to have differing opinions and trying to balance the other guests who have been very open about spreading controversial information regarding COVID and the vaccine. The Rock apparently saw the video and responded by saying that what Rogan was saying was perfect and complimented the host, while also talking about appearing on the podcast. "Great stuff here, brother. Perfectly articulated. Looking forward to coming on one day and breaking out the tequila with you." He was not the only person who responded positively to Rogan's video about wanting to correct what he said that was wrong on his podcast. Unfortunately, while The Rock appeared to be coming from a rather positive viewpoint and certainly didn't mean to offend anyone, that's exactly what he did. Fans were more than disappointed with The Rock's reply. Some of his fans were obviously also fans of Rogan's and said the podcast desperately needed to happen and that they were waiting for it. Other fans seemed to think that disinformation was a fight for freedom and information. However, other fans were very disappointed with The Rock's take and shared that they were at last seeing what The Rock was really like in his private life, and they were getting to see the real side of him. The Rock was clearly taken aback and went silent for a while, but things were going to get only worse as more information came out. A viral video has emerged where Rogan used the N-word on the Joe Rogan Experience. India Arie shared a compilation video of Rogan using the N-word on his podcast many times over the years. Not only was he using the word, he also had several racist videos. In one, he talked about how he went to a black neighborhood and said that it was like they were in Planet of the Apes. Rogan would issue an apology, but the damage was done.
I'm making this video to talk about the most regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible, even to me. Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N word, I would just say the word. I thought as long as it was in context, people would understand what I was doing. I was also talking about how there's not another word like it in the entire English language, because it's a word where only one group of people is allowed to use it, and they can use it in so many different ways. Like if a white person says that word, it's racist and toxic, but a black person can use it and it could be a punchline, it could be a term of endearment, it could be lyrics to a rap song, it could be a positive affirmation. It's a very unusual word, but it's not my word to use. I'm well aware of that now. And there's another clip that I have to address. There's a clip from 11 years ago. I was telling a story on the podcast about how me and my friend Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab and we got dropped off in this all black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining. And I said, we got out and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. I deleted that whole podcast, but obviously somebody made a clip out of it and taken out of context. It looks terrible, but it looks terrible even in context. It's a fucking idiotic thing to say. And I was just trying to be entertaining. I certainly wasn't trying to be racist. And I certainly would never want to offend someone for entertainment with something as stupid as racism. My sincere and humble apologies. I wish there was more that I could say, but all of this is just me talking from the bottom of my heart. It makes me sick watching that video.
Don Winslow, social media activist and best-selling author, called out The Rock's positive comments at this time and said he didn't expect it from The Rock. Dear Rock, you're a hero to many people, and using your platform to defend Joe Rogan, a guy that used and laughed about using the N-word dozens of times, is a terrible use of your power. Have you actually listened to this man's many racist statements about black people? Winslow tweeting about it drew the attention of many, and The Rock also noticed. Following this, he revealed that it had been a learning moment for him. Dear Winslow, thank you so much for this. I hear you as well as everyone here 100%. I was not aware of his N-word use prior to my comments, but now I've become educated to his complete narrative. Learning moment for me. Mahalo, brother, and have a great and productive weekend. Others such as Cherry Jacobus also called him out. The Rock had replied to Jacobus saying that he wanted to give her context for praising Rogan. Hi Sherry, good morning, it's DJ. You're all over my timeline, so I wanted to share some context with you so hopefully you're no longer triggered by headlines you read. I thought his response was contrite and more importantly, open to change to becoming better. Jacobus revealed the racist language that Rogan had used in a reply soon after. Rogan to a guest who said he has a black dad and a white mom. Powerful combination genetic-wise, right? You get the body of the black man and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. Black people have a different brain. The Rock recognized that he had made a mistake and tweeted about it, saying, "Hi Cherry, I owe you a sincere apology. I didn't show up the way I would have liked to in our dialogue and my language to you was offensive. I apologize. Thank you and your followers for all the dialogue here. Have a great and productive weekend." Jacobus wouldn't accept his apology. The entire situation has become rather odd and wild with people confused about what to think. While some fans have continued calling out The Rock, others have been happy with his response. In the meantime, certain celebrities like Donald Trump Jr. have also called out The Rock for his past tweets, in one of which he used transphobic language. He then targeted Rock sponsors in the tweet to draw their attention to what he had said. Wow, Rock, you can't just try to quietly delete transphobic attacks without giving a groveling apology and expect to ever work in Hollywood again. Do Under Armour, Ford, Apple, Netflix, and the rest of his sponsors and partners agree with this hateful rhetoric? Given The Rock's outspoken stance against Donald Trump in his previous election and his support for President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, the tweet is probably not coming from a well-intentioned place, but is looking to bring hate towards the former WWE star. Though the content of The Rock's words were also worrying worrying and far from excusable. Although it was a 10-year-old tweet, the same has been known to hamper others. At the moment, the fans have noticed this tweet as well and are speaking out against them. One person who has been outspoken about it is none other than Caitlyn Jenner. Jenner tweeted out against The Rock to bring his attention to his past tweet. The double standard is real. Rock, I love you, but come on, dude. Let's be real. Cancel culture has got to go. Use your platform. Donald Trump Jr., thanks for highlighting. Other responders blamed Rock for cancel culture, whereas he was speaking out about how he had been educated and not really participating in canceling anyone. In short, the social media world is in complete chaos at the moment, with many users apparently going through meltdowns to make sense of what's going on or responding less than reasonably. With everyone's past mistakes being brought up again and again, the real issue might be lost in the spread of disinformation and divisive language, which has caused such a rift among fellow humans. And this was Joe Rogan, Spotify, and The Rock, and What's the Real Story? I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.